What does sibling manipulative jealousy look like with Logan Paul as our psychological subject? As you may know, Logan Paul is the older brother of Jake Paul, who has been boxing retired MMA fighters. You may remember that Logan also did some boxing many years ago, but lost to YouTube star KSI.
First round decapitation!
I'm more concerned about who's gonna catch his head.
Good luck, my friend.
2 weeks later.
United Kingdom, the Nightmare,
And you may also recall he basically pretended to fight Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition boxing match. However, recently, Logan found that he's a lot better fake fighter than real fighter. Sorry to break the news to you kids, but wrestling is fake. After Jake won another boxing match against another retired MMA fighter, Nate Diaz, Logan invited Jake onto his podcast to apparently milk his younger brother's recent win for himself. However, what was psychologically curious was how jealous Logan Paul was of Jake for being better than him at something. So we're gonna break down Logan's curious psychology and behavior, along with body language, to reveal what an angry, manipulative, jealous sibling looks like, so you can possibly recognize it in your own life. Now, let's get started.
I'm really excited
Yeah.
to go back home and visit Cleveland.
Yeah, it's always
and
fun.
Just chill.
When someone is jealous of you as an adult, they usually won't make it perfectly clear, but may instead behave passive-aggressive, give constant criticism, show competitiveness, possibly distance themselves from you, exaggerate their own achievements, ignore your achievements, sabotage your efforts, copy your work or behavior, point out your shortcomings, and may even avoid interacting with you.
Finally get some time off to rest.
Yeah, you've been going hard for a while, Jake.
Yeah, nonstop. Only way to do it. Nothing to it but to do it.
Did you notice what Logan did right there? Yes, he seems to want to slow down his younger brother Jake so he can comparatively feel that he is still better than Jake in boxing. Have you ever had someone close to you say something like, "Well, you're working so hard lately. Maybe it's time for you to relax more." This is sometimes done in a sabotaging effort where they're trying to slow you down so they don't feel comparatively lesser than you. Keep in mind, this is not exclusively done by siblings, but it's also done by anyone that can be jealous of you, such as friends. Friends may often feel threatened by your success because if you're starting to do bigger things and better things than your friend group, they fear that you're going to leave them. We know Logan's ill intentions because of what he will say in just a few minutes, and it's also indicated by his body language. Did you catch it? Watch again.
Yeah, you've been going hard for a while, Jake.
Yes, we notice his deeply pursed lips at the end there, indicating he's holding something back, along with his eyebrows going from down and together in fabricated concern to up and apart, indicating incongruency with his words, and what seems to be the beginning formations of suspicious joy on his face, and what appears to be attempting to manipulate Jake into believing that he should slow down, which seems to be done to psychologically sabotage him.
Let's sweeten that pot a little bit because I know you've been having trouble convincing Nate to fight you in an MMA match. Why don't we get me on the same card and I'll fight Nick Diaz?
Here, Logan is not only pointing out Jake's shortcomings of not being able to get Nate to fight him again, but uses himself as the big brother savior to his inferior younger brother and his problem. As you probably noticed, this tactic here touches on criticism, competitiveness, exaggeration of his own success, and copying Jake. As discussed previously, all these are common behaviors of jealousy and may lead to manipulation.
Let me ask you something, and I need an honest answer. Are you at all disappointed that you couldn't get him out of there?
Logan here is highlighting Jake's shortcomings of not being able to knock out Nate Diaz, possibly implying that he could have, and as we will see further, it becomes clear that Logan believes that he could have knocked out Nate Diaz. Keep in mind, all of this that we're seeing is intended to constantly undermine Jake and to discredit him. See if you keep noticing it as we keep watching.
I just think it's funny that you guys have the same entities in competition across all of your...
It is actually fucked
weird.
up.
It is weird.
I own a drink company and an ambassador to a betting company, and you own a betting company and are an ambassador to a drink company.
And,
It's so funny.
And your business partner is his biggest fucking enemy.
Yeah.
Your bit. Oh, yeah.
If you don't know, Logan owns Prime Energy Drink with YouTuber KSI, and Jake is sponsored by Celsius Drink. Now watch Jake's body language and see what you think.
What do you think is going to happen in KSI Tommy Fury? If he stops KSI, I'm going for Tommy's throat.
Yes, Jake is pissed, and rightfully so. Let's break it down. We immediately notice uneasy body language with an aggressive sudden leg scratch, but look at Jake's face. Side glance with a look of judgment. Sucked in asymmetric lips with lowered eyebrows, indicating massive anger and agitation towards Logan. This is because Jake made it clear he wanted a rematch fight against Tommy Fury after he lost.
We're gonna come back and get that W.
Now his older brother is swooping in and trying to take Jake's fight away from him.
I love that vengeance storyline. Tommy Fury's on my fucking radar. I have him in my scopes. I wanted him when Jake was fighting him, and I'm gonna be back in the conversation, which I'm fucking stoked about. Yeah, dude. October 14th, I'm fighting Dylan
You
Dennis.
just jump them too. At that point, the both of you just
Yeah, I mean, I'll do something.
No, I'm gonna finish him off first. I gotta handle that business first.
Because Jake knows that no one would want to watch him rematch fight Tommy Fury if Logan fights him first. It's also because the average person doesn't know that Logan and Jake are different people. What do you think Logan copying Jake does here? Yes, it allows Logan to play both offense and defense at the same time. Logan gets to take away Jake's rematch opportunity, which is defense, while getting the chance to beat the only fighter that Jake lost to, which is offense. And what would happen if Logan beat the only fighter that Jake lost to? Yes, it would prove to himself and in his mind the world that he is a better boxer than his younger brother Jake.
We'll see, bro, because you definitely sniped the Nate Diaz fight from me, and I've been so lenient in giving you your opponents. And I think it's
It's not your option to give me my opponents. You haven't fought anyone. You don't fight real fights. It's just not your option to give me my opponents. You're not even a fighter. Like, you do exhibitions and lost like 4 years ago.
Many times, older siblings have difficulty accepting the success of their younger siblings. Why do you think that's sometimes the case? Yeah, it's because of the comparison effect among siblings, due to their firstborn identity, familial expectations, fear of losing, familial relevance, societal pressure that the oldest should always be better, and its overall fear and insecurity. As you can imagine, we can discuss these major psychological factors in depth all day. But to quickly summarize, the oldest child sometimes develops the societal and familial identities that they must always be first and the best at virtually everything simply because they are the oldest. Therefore, if they were to see their younger sibling accomplish things that they have not, it may cause them to feel immense insecurity because being the best in the family is directly connected to their self-identity and self-worth.
Did you see that picture of when you won your fight against Nate Diaz and everybody's cheering and Logan's sitting there? He looks like a super villain. Did you see that, the video?
Yeah, I didn't think it was real.
For the winner, the problem child, Jake Paul.
It seems fake, but it's not. There's like a video of it too. So it's not your option to like give me my fights. That me and Nate Diaz have been talking about that for years, and then you popped up and were like, no, now it's my turn. I want that fight, and then start talking shit, and then try to like get the fight in Saudi Arabia, like on the microphone, and like trying to like jump in on all of these things.
On the surface, some may think Logan can't be insecure because he's so arrogant. However, in psychology, arrogance is typically a coping mechanism for deep-rooted insecurity. Truly confident people can admit when they're wrong, when someone close to them is better at something than they are. And in the case of Logan, not going back into boxing just to apparently prove that he's better than his younger brother.
You just haven't taken boxing as seriously.
The one asset that I believe I have, like really have, is my brain, and I don't want to mess it up.
I have a very, very big brain.
You were told not to get hit in the head again by a physician who did a brain scan.
You see these holes.
Oh no,
And
parts of my brain are missing.
You said that you shouldn't be getting hit because you have holes in your brain?
Yeah.
I think I'm better than you, and I think Nate chose you for a reason, and I think everyone knows that.
What do you mean?
Even in hearing,
But what have you done to prove that you're better than me?
I don't know. Went toe to toe 8 rounds with the greatest boxer of all time. What do you think happens if you fight Floyd Mayweather?
I would knock him out,
Bro,
100%.
don't be ridiculous. Don't be ridiculous.
You think because you lost a fight to Floyd Mayweather that you're better than me at boxing?
I'm tired of not being picked because you're an easier fight.
Is that what you really think in your head?
I'm Jake.
Now that's a massive delusional arrogance. Logan hasn't boxed in many years, and he's never won a single boxing match. ever. Logan's record is 0-1, and he lost to a YouTuber. I'm not gonna say that Jake is the greatest boxer ever, but Jake won recently against many tough opponents, and his record is 7-1. And his only loss was against a professional boxer. It's absolutely ludicrous that Logan is actually claiming he's a better boxer than Jake currently. It seems that Logan thinks he's better than Jake due to what is called in psychology as birth order superiority bias. Therefore, Logan seems to be looking down on virtually everything Jake does as attainable for him due to this bias.
Hearing him undermine you and belittle you with these snarky comments about we know who the better fighter is. Come on, Jake. Come on, buddy. Come on, little bro. We know.
Motherfuckers are avoiding me. They are avoiding me or picking someone else, and that's obnoxious.
I think you just want to beat Tommy to be able to say that you're better than me at boxing. It's crazy for you to think that people are avoiding you.
I never thought I would agree with Jake so much, but I think Logan needs some excuse for himself to apparently satisfy his insecurity, arrogance, and ego. And look at co-host Jeff's face. Yeah, along with showing apprehension by giving that gesture of oddly pushing his hands away, those pursed lips while also looking directly at Logan says it all. Watch that part again.
It's crazy for you to think that people are avoiding you.
But Nate chose you over me.
No.
Why would Nate do that?
His manager said, "Hey, we're not fighting Logan. Nate wants this real fight." That's exactly what they said.
Because I do WWE?
I've proven to sell more pay-per-views consistently, time and time again. I'm active. I have a promotional company. We do, bigger deals, huge guarantees, like a lot of revenue.
I don't buy it.
What do you mean you don't buy?
I just don't think that.
It's more legitimate.
Logan's arrogance is off the charts.
Looks like I'm arguing with him, but really, I'm more so just setting his ego in line. And this is just me being honest, because I feel like I've just held it in for so many years. He does it, take higher road, take higher road, take higher road, and
he fucks your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Alyssa Violet, used to be your chick. Now she in the low gang, and you know she on my team.
It's sad, but he looks at his younger brother like, "Oh, little brother is doing everything I can easily do," which is probably why Logan had been such an avid supporter of Jake. Yes, it seems to be because Logan saw everything that Jake was doing as an extension of himself. When Jake would win those boxing matches, it was like Logan was beating those opponents, because he may have thought that everyone knows that he is better than Jake, and therefore he can be better at everything that his younger brother does.
Ricochet has no idea, the right hand!
Also, Logan was at Jake's recent fight in his wrestling costume to apparently make sure everyone knew he was special too. Logan claimed he didn't have time to shower and change, but he really didn't have 5 minutes to do any of that. Really?
I'm a sick promoter, which is why I'm confused why anyone would choose you. An easier fight.
It's not fun to feel your accomplishments are marginalized by anyone you love and respect, but it hurts even more when that person you love and respect doesn't assign those accomplishments to you, but instead reassigns them to himself.
We're going in circles here, and it's getting fucking personal.
No, I disagree.
Co-host Mike is noticing that this can be a destructive conversation, but have you ever noticed that when you sometimes get into it with someone, it's hard to stop arguing? Do you know why? In psychology, there's what's called sunk cost fallacy. This is when there's already so much invested into an argument with each party defending their position that it's difficult to back away, which many times causes the argument to escalate.
They said I would get kicked out if I brought a Prime bottle. That's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, get over it. Meanwhile,
come on, I'm your brother building a
business.
Oh
yeah, you're my brother building a business. You love to play both sides, bro.
It's satisfying to finally watch Jake call out Logan's manipulation. Watch.
Your brother can't bring a Prime bottle into the stadium, and if he does, he will be escorted out by security.
You wouldn't be escorted out.
That's ridiculous.
You have
what do you care more about? Going to my event or having a Prime bottle in your hand? But that's where I get confused, though, of playing both sides, because you love to play the brother card when it's convenient. But then it's like, oh, I want to go I want my get back at Tommy Fury. And you're like, No. I need to do my career. I've been sitting on the sidelines. You're taking all these fights from me.
Jake calls it playing both sides, but that just proves how good Logan is at manipulating Jake for him to think that Logan is at all on his side. It actually seems like Logan is using Jake, but gets angry at Jake when he sets boundaries to not be manipulated and used by Logan. Nothing that Logan does seems to be actually for Jake. He may make it seem like it's for Jake so he can continue manipulating him to get what he wants from Jake, but it's not for Jake. For example, Logan tried to fight Tommy Fury in boxing after Jake lost to him, but that was not to avenge Jake. That was clearly what Logan saw as an opportunity to prove to the world that he is a better boxer than his younger brother.
Wait, but I'm your brother. Then you're like, no, you're not. Trying to like even snipe the Tommy Fury fight like after I lost to him, like right there on the spot.
I mean, bro, obviously my initial instinct after that loss was like, let me avenge my brother.
But this is exactly what I'm saying, playing both sides.
But here's the thing. It doesn't matter how much success Logan has in his individual spheres with his prime drink and fake fighting, because what Logan seems to have found out is that he must be perceived as better than Jake at virtually everything for him to feel satisfied.
When it's convenient for you,
faulty comparisons.
But when it's convenient for you, we're brothers. But then when it's not, you do the exact opposite of like, but we're completely separate, so like I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do as well. I'm not arguing with him. Like I don't want him to look bad, but he almost like can't help himself to look bad. This is what's stupid about it is like I don't know why he put that out. Like I was telling him and his team like, why are you putting this out? No one wins here. And then his team is like clapping like, no, this is great content.
Media is his moral compass. Like whatever is right to the public eye is what he follows.
Yeah.
So like he loves this shit.
How are you feeling?
What about what?
Just the conversation we just had?
I think you have a lot of trauma to unpack.
Jake was right. Logan's extreme manipulative jealousy is an indication there are major issues that should be addressed professionally, because it stems from insecurity, low self-esteem, fear of loss, making unhealthy comparisons, unmet needs, past traumas, emotional rejections, feeling out of control, overly concerned with social status, feelings of inadequacy, feelings of external pressure, overly materialistic, lack of relationship trust, and overly sensitive. As you can surely sense, these are all major, intertwined psychological issues that Logan is clearly living with. As flawed as Jake is, I give him a lot of credit for at least beginning to address some of his apparent psychological issues and traumas. Our culture wrongly uses the word jealous as praise for others to indicate that we like what they have. For example, I love your handbag or car, I'm so jealous. However, the true meaning of jealous is actually envy or resentment of what someone else has or has done. Basically, when we say the word jealous, we are technically saying that I want what you have or have done without acknowledging what they have done to get it. So I personally try my best to avoid using the word jealous in those common situations. So the big question: how would you handle a jealous, manipulative sibling like Logan Paul in your life? The sad part is that the jealous manipulator knows he's putting you in a difficult spot, where if you accuse them of being jealous, what do you think will happen?
Now it's like starting to unravel and like reveal itself, and like clearly he has envy and jealousy towards me, and that's what I told him off camera, and he's like, no, but it like everyone sees it.
Yeah, they'll just deny, and keep manipulating and sabotaging you with jealousy.
For me as the little brother, it's always like team. We did this together. We started our YouTube channel together. Off camera, he was basically like, no, like I never respected you when we were kids.
This type of jealousy for Logan is apparently deep-rooted in his relationship identity with Jake, and unfortunately, it's not usually cured with a simple conversation. Therefore, many times the best way to handle this situation is to slowly reduce contact with them until you feel they're not sabotaging you anymore. Some may say, how could you possibly cut contact with your sibling? For some, it may not be an option. Therefore, you may just have to accept their subtle or not so subtle sabotage and manipulation, which will surely impact you. However, the good news is that they sometimes may be jealous out of a reflexive reaction. But as time goes on, they may notice the work you are doing to achieve your success. So the extent of their jealousy may begin to subside.
Shane Dawson picked the wrong Paul brother to fucking interrogate. He needs to run it back.
Now in the comments, what would you do if you were Jake with a brother like Logan? Let everyone know in the comments below. Subscribe and hit notifications for more. Last video, I gave you a life update, and I really appreciate all the support that you all gave me for sometimes being MIA, because as I mentioned, I'm in 4 universities studying forensic neuropsychology. Yeah, for me, it's a journey. You know, it's not easy. It's a long pathway, and I'm not taking the quickest, easiest pathway. I'm not just like, oh, what's the quickest, easiest online doctorate I can get? It's not like that. Really take pride in what I put out, the information that I give you, that it's the best that I can possibly do. And this may sound corny, but when I'm studying these very, very difficult topics, such as neuroscience at very, very difficult schools, I'm not, just thinking of myself or, oh, I want to buy this car. I'm literally thinking of you all. I'm thinking of what kind of information can I give you? What kind of videos can I make? How can I give you better information, more information, present it more creatively? I'm always thinking, so you're all on my mind all the time. So I really appreciate you all sticking with me. Thanks.